Please notice that Jeremiah chapter 22 verse 3 through 5 is the same general summary of the law that the Messiah gave. Matthew chapter 7 verse number 12. Therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do you even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. The law. Exodus chapter 23 verse 4 and 5. If you meet your enemy's ox or his ass going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him. If you see one that hates you lying under his burden, and you don't want to help him, you shall surely help him with it. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 17 through 18. Love your brother. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 33 through 34. Love stranger. Okay, that's the law. The prophets, like I already stated, Jeremiah chapter 22 verse 3 through 5. Do no wrong to the stranger, the fatherless, or the widow. Okay, and then there's Isaiah chapter 58 verse 5 through 10. And there's also Zechariah chapter 7 verse 9 through 12 and Zechariah chapter 8 verse 14 through 17. They're all saying the same general thing. Therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do you even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. That's a very true statement that's backed up by Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Zechariah. I encourage you to read and reread those and see that they're all saying the same thing that the Messiah said. Okay, and so according to Jeremiah chapter 22 verse 3 through 5, it is for disobedience to those words that Israel is to become desolate. And what the so-called Jewish settlers in Israel today are doing is disobeying those words. Just look at the documentary called Settlers from 2002. There's a new Settlers one, but look at the one from 2002. And you'll see that they break the royal law. Okay? It's clear. All of Israel will become desolate. Okay? Then Jerusalem, precious Jerusalem, will be last. But all Israel will become desolate. Then we'll see armies surround Jerusalem. Luke chapter 21 verse 20. It says armies will surround Jerusalem. Let's read it. Luke 21:20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is near. Okay, hinting at all the same things that the prophets hinted at that we've been talking about. All Israel is to be desolate, ending off with Jerusalem being desolate. Then the return of the Messiah is near. We must obey the Messiah in order to be considered children of Abraham. The teachings of the Messiah are the same teachings that are found in Exodus chapter 23 verse 4, 5, and 9, Leviticus chapter 19 verse 17 and 18, Leviticus chapter 19 verse 33 through 34, Isaiah chapter 58 verse 5 through 10, Jeremiah chapter 22 verse 3 through 5, Zechariah chapter 7 verse 9 through 12, Zechariah chapter 8 verse 14 through 17. They're all clearly saying the same repeated thing. Whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do you even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. And Jeremiah chapter 22 verse 3 through 5 says, if we disobey that rule, therefore Israel shall become desolate. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of Elohim. For if you obey the Messiah, then are you Abraham's seed, and heirs according to the promise.